My name is Julien Clement. I am the Director of Certification and Education at Workato. I've been there about a year and a half. And prior to that, I was at HubSpot for 8 years, running the credentialing and certification program over there. At Workato, we have two major lanes. So we have your core product training, which we have Automation Pro 1, 2, 3. It's a series you can take to skill up in Workato and in the product. That's how Automation Institute really started, was trying to solve for the need of, we have this tool, people want to learn how to use it, let's get them trained up on it, right? I think a lot of customer education, certification programs start that way. The other area we have is this category certification angle. And this is really cool because it's actually a big lead gen thing for us now. But the idea that there is a category around automation, enterprise automation to be created, let's build out courses and content that kind of talk about high level methodology and actually don't even touch on a lot of the Workato product, but it's something you can apply if you're using any type of automation, any automation tool. I think I have a unique experience because we built our own at HubSpot. And it was really cool. And it was also really hard. We had a whole product team that was doing this. And so coming to Workato, I just knew that wasn't going to be feasible. With the budget we had and with the vision and strategy, it wasn't going to be feasible. So we kind of landed on Credly and Accredible as the two options going through kind of the procurement stage. And the reason we really liked Accredible was kind of like two major things. We felt that the pricing met our needs, and obviously that's big, especially in a time now when the economy is a little uncertain, tech's a little up and down, right? So having a good price point there is huge for us. We loved the directory. We loved the fact that you could easily have something white labeled that set the stage for creating an ecosystem of experts. That was a huge differentiating factor, I think, and the ability to have that and work that in so easily was big for what our future plans are, right? We don't have this gig marketplace yet around, hey, I need someone to build a Workato recipe for me, or hey, I need a connection built, but we're getting there, and we're getting there very quick. And the biggest thing is you can't scale by hiring more and more services. So we need to create this ecosystem of experts. This is where we envision that living. And you go and you say, hey, I need an integration developer. Boom, you filter by that. You filter by the credentials they have. You can read a little bit about their bio. You can see the other credentials that they might have earned. And it's a really good way to kind of build out and hydrate that ecosystem of experts. When you're looking at it, especially doing some level of category creation, digital credentials sit at the center of what I like to say, like the flywheel of credentials, right? So you have someone who finds your content via SEO or your website or whatever, and then they go through and they take a course, right? They engage with the content. And then that delight moment comes a lot of times in the form of this credential, right? So they're able to, we use Accredible to award those credentials. So not only are they able to get a credential that's easily shareable, but they're also able to see themselves in the directory, to have this kind of full circle thing. And then to complete the flywheel, you have people that are seeing their credential that they've shared that then go and sign up, right? So it's this nice kind of force behind it all that comes full circle, and having the credentials and the shareability, and then from our side internally, being able to see the data behind it to easily create credentials to hook up with our LMS so that it's very automated in the way that these people are getting a credential just like that after they pass, is a real big piece of how we kind of try and delight the people that are going through our education. We are pretty keen on optimization. And with that, it's looking at, hey, how does what's the engagement rate for the courses? But then almost more importantly, sometimes, are people opening the credential that gets sent to them? Are they sharing it? Are they just adding it to LinkedIn? How do we optimize that piece of it? So we use the analytics in Accredible to really figure out where we need to have kind of changes around, does the email copy need to change, right? We're doing some level of testing around that, trying to make sure that we're not shooting emails and shooting these certifications into thin air, but we're actually having the conversion that we want to see from award credential to actually sharing. Because that's the biggest thing. We talk about the flywheel. Like if people aren't sharing it, they may be getting the internal satisfaction and element of it, but we want people to feel proud of this. And in order to have that flywheel spin so nicely, it's the sharing piece of it that is a huge part of it. And so those analytics that Accredible provides around sharing are big in how we think about going to market with this and how we make sure that what we're putting out there is something that the customer is indeed really excited about. We're going to continue to launch more courses and certifications, that's for sure. What I would really like to do, and my long-term vision around this, is I want to build a place where you can come and understand kind of a person's value within that ecosystem that we talked about. And so ideally we're able to pull in potentially product certifications that say, hey, you've created 100 recipes that have run for X amount of time with no errors, right? We can actually potentially use APIs to integrate some of that product data and put together these product level certifications that are actually taking all that amazing data that we have and turning it into credentials. Because our vision here is really, how do we make it so that it's not necessarily just based on your ability to take an exam, right? And I think what you talked about with those skills is like, we want to actually verify those skills and expertise. And so there's a bunch of different forms that we can do that. And frankly, the easiest way to show that and show the outside world is what that is having some level of profile with your credentials, with your expertise all laid out there. So that's our vision. We do see Accredible being a big part of that because it gives us that flexibility to, hey, is it exam-based? Great, we can do that. If it's not exam-based, there's also that flexibility in kind of being able to build out what I'll call a more custom credential, whether that's a community achievement, a product achievement, even just, being one of the first to take a certification, kind of one-off hero badges and things like that. So having that flexibility with the group creation, with the content creation, with the credential creation is big for us, and hopefully will help drive this vision in next year and years to come.